Hi all, welcome to the next session. I'm Rahul and I would be your instructor for your entire series of course with Selenium with Cucumber and Java. So before moving on to the course overview, let me introduce myself. I'm Rahul. I have around 8 years of experience in IT with automation tools like Selenium WebDriver, Cucumber, Appium, API automation, and also I have worked on QTP and UFT. So why we are creating this course? What is the agenda of creating this course? So I think that you must be aware that the market is shifting in a linear manner from manual testing to the automation testing, and there is very less courses available in the market which give you a full-fledged idea of automation from scratch to become an expert in automation. So I am on a mission to create a community for automation, and I want that everyone should be aware of automation and excel into your industry because the market is getting tough right now. If you say in your resume that I only know manual testing, you're gone. Because if you see the industry trend, the market is shifting from the manual testing and moving towards the automation. All the companies require automation knowledge, and even if they are not using in a full-fledged manner, they require a guy who has a complete knowledge of manual testing and that of the automation. At least the guy who should be able to set up the automation, and if the situation arises, he should be able to work on automation. And what is happening right now in the current industry, that whenever you see a hiring, you will see along with manual testing they would be also saying that you need a knowledge of automation and you should have worked on automation, maybe on a Cucumber framework or a Protractor, Jasmine, Selenium WebDriver, any of those. But believe me, guys, if you say that I have a knowledge of Cucumber, sure, you have a chances of getting into that role or getting a chance to work with that project in a higher manner. So if you just see the trend in the market, you will just realize how automation is important and how it's changing the game, how it is changing the whole world and changing the whole trend of IT industry. What I'm trying to say is that manual testing is not dead. It will remain there for a entire life, right? Because we cannot replace the manual testing with the help of automation. That is sure shot. But if you want to grow in your IT industry, you must know automation. Because when you grow, you need to know a new technologies which are there, which are in trend and which can be used to improve your project. Because as you move forward, you have to improve, right? Unless and until you improve, you will be not able to grow in your career. So even there are many students who are coming to me and saying that, so we are just students, why we need to do this, and why we need to learn the automation. If you are choosing testing as your career, then the first thing which you learn is the manual testing, right? But what happens if you have a knowledge of automation along with that? Boom, I'm sure that you will be getting 100% chances of getting into that role. The interviewer may ask you few questions about the automation, some basics one, as you if you are a fresher. But yes, definitely you will get a chance to work with that company, and your dream job will be with you. Okay, so manual testing. If you are learning a manual testing part, it's okay. That's the part of the game. Everyone starts as a manual tester, but if you are manual tester for your entire life, then I'm not sure how the career will be after 10 years when you grow in your role. Okay, so it's better to start early in your career and to excel, because I have started my career as a manual testing engineer, but after that I got the game of automation, and now I am a technical architect in my current company for automation and projects. So that's why I try to learn the technologies which are trending in the market and which will fulfill the needs of the company, and definitely your career will be on a better side. Okay, so with this we will start with our agenda and the few FAQs which are frequently asked by the students to me before enrolling or before taking this course. So I will try to clarify those, and then we will move on to the actual sessions. Okay, So let's begin. So these are the following questions which are frequently asked by the students to me before enrolling to this course. Okay, so let's see one by one and let's try to answer each one of them. So first thing which the student asks is what is framework? Okay, first of all, let's read the technical definition which is defined for the framework, and afterwards I will explain you what is framework exactly. A test automation framework is an integrated system that sets the rule of automation of a specific product. Okay, this system integrates the functions libraries, test data resources, object details, object output report, object repository, and various reusable methods. So this is the statement, or we can say a practical definition, and let me just tell you what the framework is. Basically, a framework is a set of guidelines which we need to define in order to execute our automation suite. In your automation suite, there may be 1,000 of test cases, maybe multiple data files, maybe from the Excel sheet or any text file or any other files, any CSV files, let's suppose. So a framework defines the rules how you design your entire project. Okay, it defines how you will be setting up your test cases, where you will be keeping your object repositories, from where you will be extracting the data from your project, and where you will keep the output report. These all things are configured into your project, right? There are some set of rules which we need to follow in order to define this, in order to set up all this. That is, from where you will be taking the external data, from where you will be keeping the output reports, where you will be keeping the screenshots which you will be taking while executing your script. So these all things we need to manage in such a way that which should be robust and we did not have to do rework on that. Okay, so this is actually a framework. We will see where we will be keeping our reusable methods, from where we will be extracting the test data, how we will be fetching that test data into actual script, and then we will see how we will be creating a report, how report should be, what is the pattern of the report, and what is the object repository, how you will be extracting the web element from this object repository and using it into your script. So these all things are considered as a part of framework. So the next question which comes to me is what is Cucumber? Okay, so Cucumber is basically a test automation framework which was initially implemented on Ruby on Rails and which was later extended on Java platform. It allows us to define the application behavior in simple English text, which is defined by a language called as Gherkin. Okay, so basically a Cucumber is automation framework which was previously introduced on Ruby on Rails and later it was extended on Java platform. Okay, so in Java, when we use Cucumber, we use a language called as Gherkin, which uses a simple English language which is understood by the BAs, developers, and the automation team also. So if all the members of the team are working on a project and if they understand the code which is written, so it is useful for the project team only, right? Because it would have a more coverage and all the automation scripts can be easily understood by the all the members of the team. So that's the beauty of Cucumber. And Cucumber uses the language called as Gherkin, which is a simple English language. So it is understood if you just read out the scripts, you will just understand how what is written and what is the functionality of the particular script, right? So that's why the Cucumber came into existence, as there was a gap between the developers, BAs, and the automation team or the manual testing team. So it was introduced because of that. So let's move on to our next question. Why to use Cucumber? It allows to write the test script without knowledge of code that we have seen in our discussion, right? Because we use the language which is understood by everyone, as it is a simple English plain language and it can be understood by anyone. Also, it allows to integrate the web automation, API automation, and mobile automation, which provides a complete solution to test automation, right? Cucumber is just a framework which provides the guidelines which you need to follow in order to design it. You can integrate any of these like web automation you can do API automation also with the help of Cucumber. You can even integrate Appium with the help of Cucumber. Okay, so just there are minimal changes, like for web automation you need to have a selenium jar file, right? For API automation you need to have a rest assured jars, and for the mobile automation you need to integrate the Java client and Appium libraries. And suppose if your need is to integrate web automation, you can do that also. API automation and mobile automation, all of those are possible. Okay, let's move on to our next point. Cucumber is a tool based on behavior driven development, which is used to write the acceptance test of web application. It allows automation of functional validation in easily readable and understandable format, like in plain English, to business analysts, developers, testers, etc. So this is already covered. We have seen how Cucumber helps to solve the problem between QAs, developers and BAs. So it gives the complete coverage of your test automation. Let's move on to our next point. Let's see what are the coverage can be done with the help of Cucumber framework. So let's see, we can do web automation, we can do mobile automation, and also we can perform API automation. So you just need to integrate the jars related to specific technology which you are using, and that's it, you're ready to go. So next point, let's see what questions are asked. What is difference between selenium and Cucumber? So this is very important question to understand, because most of the people confuse between the selenium and Cucumber. So what is selenium and Cucumber? So Cucumber is a framework which can integrate all the other technologies like API automation, mobile automation and web automation. And selenium supports web automation only. Okay. So what is the difference between these two? Okay, there must be some technical differences between these two, that we will be preferring Cucumber first and not the selenium. Let's see that part. So for Cucumber, complete knowledge of Java is not required while designing our Cucumber framework. On the other hand, if you are going for the selenium with TestNG or JUnit framework, complete knowledge of Java is required. Okay, that is covered in this point. Because what happens if you go with selenium with TestNG or JUnit, you need to write a special utilities for data extraction, for parameterization, for taking the output reports. But that is not the case in Cucumber. Cucumber itself is designed in such a way that it has all the utilities for extracting the data and for parameterizing your test case. Parameterizing means you can execute the same script with multiple set of data. In data extraction, you need to pass the data to your test script from somewhere, right? But in TestNG or JUnit, we pass the data with the help of Excel sheet or CSV file. But in Cucumber, we can directly pass the data from our feature file only. So that headache is gone. That is not our headache. Cucumber has taken care of that, and that solves the problem very beautifully. Okay. So these all things which are asked to me before starting with the Cucumber course. So just go through it, and if you have any questions, just put that in the comment box and I will definitely try to answer this. And even if you have any doubts, you can just reach out to me and I would be happy to help to you. Okay, so let's begin our course from next session, and thanks for joining this session.